Did we collect 3 months ago? Did we collect 3 months ago? Does not appear mu. Does not appear mu. You'll sing a century later. You'll sing a century later. Can't understand normally? Can't understand normally? Queen is fit. Queen is fit. Couldn't he follow? Couldn't he follow? Has it rained? Has it rained? Can't it take 2 weeks? Can't it take 2 weeks? They may not reflect after one evening. They may not reflect after one evening. You shouldn't exercise. You shouldn't exercise. His grandson was an optician. His grandson was an optician. Can't we bind every week? Can't we bind every week? Wasn't I using? Wasn't I using? They will not wage war. They will not wage war. Your support means the world to me. Your support means the world to me. You shouldn't fall every month. You shouldn't fall every month. The population of the country is increasing. The population of the country is increasing. Always behave. Always behave. Were they craftsmen last year? Were they craftsmen last year? Will he fail then? Will he fail then? He may not act as an announcer after 3 nights. He may not act as an announcer after 3 nights. I won't go out unless the sun is shining. I won't go out unless the sun is shining. One, I must have a baby. One, I must have a baby. We know. We know. Are you invited at 5 p.m.? Are you invited at 5 p.m.? You are very active. You are very active. Aren't we equal? Aren't we equal? Is my husband a vocalist? Is my husband a vocalist? Can't continue before? Can't continue before? Are their grandparents virologists? Are their grandparents virologists? I will be traveling to an English-speaking country. I will be traveling to an English-speaking country. They will be magicians in the night. They will be magicians in the night. For 2 weeks it did not connect. For 2 weeks it did not connect. Both the employees and the company will benefit from this arrangement. Both the employees and the company will benefit from this arrangement. Should we wash last year? Should we wash last year? Was my stepmother a babysitter? Was my stepmother a babysitter? Didn't he normally agree? Didn't he normally agree? I was not an educator then. I was not an educator then. Then I assume. Then I assume. Aren't they supposed to meet in 4 minutes? Aren't they supposed to meet in 4 minutes? Don't I have to be a watchman after 5 months? Don't I have to be a watchman after 5 months? Can't be appreciated after 5 minutes? Can't be appreciated after 5 minutes? I'm going to take a yoga class in the morning. I'm going to take a yoga class in the morning. Our niece is an artist. Our niece is an artist. I will open a branch. I will open a branch. You cannot reduce later in the morning. You cannot reduce later in the morning. I shouldn't complain. I shouldn't complain. 1 month ago can I command? 1 month ago can I command? Dear God, I absolutely need your help. Dear God, I absolutely need your help. I'm going to the eye doctor. I'm going to the eye doctor. Rabbits are quiet animals. Rabbits are quiet animals. Did not focus. Did not focus. You will not demand. You will not demand. I can use it every day. I can use it every day. Never feels. Never feels. It did not burn. It did not burn. Should you become an entrepreneur then? Should you become an entrepreneur then? My family is a shipper. My family is a shipper. Should they talk? Should they talk? Can't base every day? Can't base every day? At noon he is mentioned. At noon he is mentioned. It is not support. It is not support. Was our grandson a lifeguard? Was our grandson a lifeguard? Don't they often play lead roles? Don't they often play lead roles? After the cream. After the cream. Did they answer? Did they answer? Was our grandson a journalist? Was our grandson a journalist? Should it repeat soon? Should it repeat soon? Should not be fed. Should not be fed. I can't believe I'm experiencing this. I can't believe I'm experiencing this. Did he notice at dusk? Did he notice at dusk? Was his colleague a salesperson? Was his colleague a salesperson? His colleague is a lieutenant. His colleague is a lieutenant. She had a beautiful face. She had a beautiful face. I won't cost every week. I won't cost every week. You are not often an operator. You are not often an operator. I am going to the garden. I am going to the garden. Can we add? Can we add? We saw many different bird species along the river. We saw many different bird species along the river. I can't find anything in my closet. I can't find anything in my closet. Will he ride next year? Will he ride next year? Do I test in 5 hours? Do I test in 5 hours? He was not an alchemist before. He was not an alchemist before. Is his wife a reporter? Is his wife a reporter? I can't concentrate on my work because of this noise. I can't concentrate on my work because of this noise. I'm ashamed of what I did. I'm ashamed of what I did. Can't I be a bricklayer soon? Can't I be a bricklayer soon? Couldn't he have boarded 1 day ago? Couldn't he have boarded 1 day ago? You should not carry. You should not carry. I have a strange stone son. I have a strange stone son. No hairdresser at night? No hairdresser at night? Are there stepmothers opticians? Are there stepmothers opticians? Should be replaced later. Should be replaced later. Got work in 2 weeks. Got work in 2 weeks. Now we can dance. Now we can dance. Can he dive? Can he dive? Are their neighbors a gynecologist? Are their neighbors a gynecologist? Are their cousins marketers? Are their cousins marketers? I go to school by bus every day. I go to school by bus every day. I'm in the room with the bathtub. I'm in the room with the bathtub. Prove you can do it. Prove you can do it. Couldn't last 2 weeks. Couldn't last 2 weeks. Was his wife a fashion designer? Was his wife a fashion designer? I don't shoot at noon. I don't shoot at noon. Your cousins are oncologists. Your cousins are oncologists. Both options have their pros and cons. Both options have their pros and cons. Can it go after 1 month? Can it go after 1 month? Aren't we going to sing in 2 days? Aren't we going to sing in 2 days? Weren't they? Weren't they? Shouldn't they be chosen? Shouldn't they be chosen? I need some sleep. I need some sleep. I don't feel normal. I don't feel normal. Congressman could be 2 more mornings later. Congressman could be 2 more mornings later. Didn't we teach? Didn't we teach? I'm tired of this book. I'm tired of this book. Would we normally notice? Would we normally notice? Increases at dawn. Increases at dawn. His nephew is an auditor. His nephew is an auditor. I block once a month. I block once a month. Won't I be a sportscaster sometimes? Won't I be a sportscaster sometimes? Don't they often? Don't they often? I will create an account on this website. I will create an account on this website. Do you have to play? Do you have to play? They will thank. They will thank. Then you won't be the morning messenger. Then you won't be the morning messenger. Didn't I get it? Didn't I get it? The plane flies in the sky. The plane flies in the sky. Was the producer. Was the producer. Shouldn't you normally open it? Shouldn't you normally open it? Can you evaluate? Can you evaluate? It cannot burn. It cannot burn. 3 in the afternoon? 3 in the afternoon? Can they make jewelry soon? Can they make jewelry soon? Normally discover. Normally discover. I watch the sunset every evening. I watch the sunset every evening. We can't settle in at sunset. We can't settle in at sunset. Sorry, I can't sit here. Sorry, I can't sit here. My sister is very young. My sister is very young. When were you born? When were you born? Property is something someone owns. Property is something someone owns. Can I finish 4 days ago? Can I finish 4 days ago? Can't he be a doctor in 4 centuries? Can't he be a doctor in 4 centuries? I don't think education is necessarily the best solution. I don't think education is necessarily the best solution. I will be there soon. I will be there soon. Were his colleagues landscape architects? Were his colleagues landscape architects? My cousins were warriors. My cousins were warriors. They were never implemented. They were never implemented. Is he bad? Is he bad? I won't warn you in a minute. I won't warn you in a minute. His wife is an anesthesiologist. His wife is an anesthesiologist. I can't catch. I can't catch. Energy from the sun is used to power homes. Energy from the sun is used to power homes. It may not be everyday blogger. It may not be everyday blogger. They become cops every week. They become cops every week. You cannot connect often. You cannot connect often. I need a new battery for my car. I need a new battery for my car. Can't you watch every week? Can't you watch every week? If it's cold, I won't go out. If it's cold, I won't go out. Your brother's air traffic controller. Your brother's air traffic controller. I was spilling often. I was spilling often. I'm not in shape for 2 weeks. I'm not in shape for 2 weeks. If the weather is not hot, I will go outside. If the weather is not hot, I will go outside. Can you evaluate every day? Can you evaluate every day? We don't get it after a month. We don't get it after a month. I think this is a great idea. I think this is a great idea. Was he an astronomer 3 centuries ago? Was he an astronomer 3 centuries ago? 3 I like hot bread. 3 I like hot bread. Your brothers were merchants. Your brothers were merchants. Will we never be dietitians? Will we never be dietitians? Wouldn't it reduce 10 years? Wouldn't it reduce 10 years? I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot of work to do. Her brother-in-law is a lawyer. Her brother-in-law is a lawyer. I'm not sure I can do this. I'm not sure I can do this. We are never carpenters. We are never carpenters. We must continue. We must continue. Shouldn't it be adjusted for 1 week later? Shouldn't it be adjusted for 1 week later? Can't I run? Can't I run? Can I compare after 2 months? Can I compare after 2 months? You should rarely matter. You should rarely matter. Is my stepsister a pianist? Is my stepsister a pianist? Should we work overtime to meet the deadline? Should we work overtime to meet the deadline? Is her mother a manicurist? Is her mother a manicurist? My cousins were ambassadors. My cousins were ambassadors. Should he deny it? Should he deny it? After a century, shall we not race car drivers? After a century, shall we not race car drivers? Your father was a pie player. Your father was a pie player. Then you need to invest. Then you need to invest. Won't you get better every day? Won't you get better every day? One, I will have sex. One, I will have sex. Can I talk about nighttime? Can I talk about nighttime? May not be available every week. May not be available every week. I value myself a lot. I value myself a lot. He loved to fly kites on the beach. He loved to fly kites on the beach. Was your nephew the manager? Was your nephew the manager? He didn't wear it last year. He didn't wear it last year. Not in the traveler's country? Not in the traveler's country? They may not always paint. They may not always paint. His brother-in-law is a farmer. His brother-in-law is a farmer. You could have threatened 1 night ago. You could have threatened 1 night ago. We go to the movies on Friday nights. We go to the movies on Friday nights. Would they hide? Would they hide? I bought a doll for my daughter. I bought a doll for my daughter. I have a skin rash. I have a skin rash. Can't we ask at night? Can't we ask at night? Couldn't they focus? Couldn't they focus? I couldn't collect at noon. I couldn't collect at noon. You cannot be an anesthesiologist at dusk. You cannot be an anesthesiologist at dusk. Can we sleep now? Can we sleep now? I will make a cake. I will make a cake. I can't publish. I can't publish. Can offer. Can offer. The dog ran after the ball with great excitement. The dog ran after the ball with great excitement. Will they borrow? Will they borrow? I'm about to go to work. I'm about to go to work. You're not often a blacksmith. You're not often a blacksmith. I will never forget the happy moments we shared together in our relationship. I will never forget the happy moments we shared together in our relationship. They can be aviators at dusk. They can be aviators at dusk. I can't believe it's worth $1 billion. I can't believe it's worth $1 billion. I am the owner of this property. I am the owner of this property. Was I a regular sometimes? Was I a regular sometimes? Weren't they ignored next year? Weren't they ignored next year? You are the host every week. You are the host every week. I'm going on vacation next month. I'm going on vacation next month. Should not take. Should not take. Shouldn't he be a marketer in 5 seconds? Shouldn't he be a marketer in 5 seconds? His grandmother is a comedian. His grandmother is a comedian. I clean my room on Sundays. I clean my room on Sundays. Still, there are some uncertainties that we must address. Still, there are some uncertainties that we must address. Is their spouse the second man? Is their spouse the second man? Can it help? Can it help? I can't wait to sleep on Saturday. I can't wait to sleep on Saturday. It was not staying at 1 a.m. before. It was not staying at 1 a.m. before. Noon is not a tradesman. Noon is not a tradesman. Doesn't he eat later? Doesn't he eat later? Then I have to talk. Then I have to talk. I shouldn't touch. I shouldn't touch. They didn't call before at 5 a.m. They didn't call before at 5 a.m. Was his stepson a waiter? Was his stepson a waiter? I need to buy new clothes for winter. I need to buy new clothes for winter. Shouldn't it be stored every month? Shouldn't it be stored every month? Our brothers were preachers. Our brothers were preachers. The situation is not open to interpretation. The situation is not open to interpretation. Don't you touch. Don't you touch. The UN is the main international organization responsible for promoting peace and security. The UN is the main international organization responsible for promoting peace and security. Were they CEOs at 1 a.m. before? Were they CEOs at 1 a.m. before? He has one brother. He has one brother. Will they write yearly? Will they write yearly? I was a tilemaker. I was a tilemaker. My friend anesthetist. My friend anesthetist. Would they seek? Would they seek? They can spy right away. They can spy right away. Shouldn't they be encouraged? Shouldn't they be encouraged? 2 houses beyond description. 2 houses beyond description. They age in the twilight. They age in the twilight. Her stepdaughter is a golfer. Her stepdaughter is a golfer. We can't believe it. We can't believe it. They will not weld at dusk. They will not weld at dusk. Don't you suspect? Don't you suspect? They should not trade after 2 hours. They should not trade after 2 hours. Don't they invade later in the morning? Don't they invade later in the morning? After 2 weekends we can engineer. After 2 weekends we can engineer. I'm in the room with the books. I'm in the room with the books. Don't we need a monthly agreement? Don't we need a monthly agreement? His mother was a homeowner. His mother was a homeowner. I have to request one later in the morning. I have to request one later in the morning. Flowers bloom in spring. Flowers bloom in spring. My colleague officer. My colleague officer. My daughter is a teacher. My daughter is a teacher. Can you please get your back? Can you please get your back? You rarely have to let go. You rarely have to let go. They must be lobbyists. They must be lobbyists. He will start his own business next year. He will start his own business next year. Didn't I apply? Didn't I apply? Cannot visit every year. Cannot visit every year. The child is beyond criticism. The child is beyond criticism. You will be a poet in a month. You will be a poet in a month. Don't we analyze at sunset? Don't we analyze at sunset? Shouldn't you be sailing at noon? Shouldn't you be sailing at noon? Won't find it at sunset. Won't find it at sunset. I have too many ideas. I have too many ideas. He doesn't design a car right away. He doesn't design a car right away. I'm in the room with the drinks. I'm in the room with the drinks. Usually not a surgeon. Usually not a surgeon. Their grandfather is a night watchman. Their grandfather is a night watchman. Didn't it come out last year? Didn't it come out last year? I'm going to the movies with my family. I'm going to the movies with my family. Couldn't it be a scavenger 2 days ago? Couldn't it be a scavenger 2 days ago? I remove. I remove. I will start a new business. I will start a new business. Shouldn't I mix? Shouldn't I mix? Wouldn't it connect? Wouldn't it connect? Will it not produce? Will it not produce? Can I be selected often? Can I be selected often? It may not go right away. It may not go right away. His brothers were art directors. His brothers were art directors. Couldn't he be an analyst later at 4 p.m.? Couldn't he be an analyst later at 4 p.m.? We will not draw. We will not draw. He can go to the grocery store at noon. He can go to the grocery store at noon. Shouldn't you be backing up in an hour? Shouldn't you be backing up in an hour? Can't it be at sunrise? Can't it be at sunrise? Our husband is a caregiver. Our husband is a caregiver. Was her husband a psychiatrist? Was her husband a psychiatrist? Our grandfather was a doctor. Our grandfather was a doctor. His wife is the vocalist. His wife is the vocalist. Should we be salespeople in the afternoon? Should we be salespeople in the afternoon? The plane flew above the clouds. The plane flew above the clouds. After 4 nights the chef should do it. After 4 nights the chef should do it. Can't we be a weekly clerk? Can't we be a weekly clerk? We can cry. We can cry. Shouldn't we be cops often? Shouldn't we be cops often? She never masseuse. She never masseuse. Your uncle was a blacksmith. Your uncle was a blacksmith. Rarely can I not be a producer? Rarely can I not be a producer? I'm going out to dinner with my friends. I'm going out to dinner with my friends. We'll take a step. We'll take a step. They can injure after a century. They can injure after a century. You should like. You should like. They would bring it at sunset. They would bring it at sunset. Are their grandchildren dietitians? Are their grandchildren dietitians? Can they answer now? Can they answer now? The restaurant is open from 6 a.m. The restaurant is open from 6 a.m. Not contacted? Not contacted? Can it renew sometimes? Can it renew sometimes? Can't continue before? Can't continue before? Can't he get better? Can't he get better? It doesn't feel every day. It doesn't feel every day. My daughter was a librarian. My daughter was a librarian. Would not immediately become a beautician. Would not immediately become a beautician. Wouldn't he run after a second? Wouldn't he run after a second? Was taking a step. Was taking a step. Do they object? Do they object? I am doing something important. I am doing something important. I'm going to the market to buy bread. I'm going to the market to buy bread. It is mandatory for all employees to attend the meeting to be held tomorrow. It is mandatory for all employees to attend the meeting to be held tomorrow. Shouldn't he be a senator in 3 years? Shouldn't he be a senator in 3 years? Was his brother a landscape architect? Was his brother a landscape architect? Were his grandchildren a washerwoman? Were his grandchildren a washerwoman? I don't want to lose a lot of things to look good. I don't want to lose a lot of things to look good. Can I choose annual? Can I choose annual? Can you call often? Can you call often? We couldn't catch it the night before. We couldn't catch it the night before. Your half-sister is the librarian. Your half-sister is the librarian. Was his half-brother a gymnast? Was his half-brother a gymnast? He is the illustrator. He is the illustrator. The company had a firm belief in its new products. The company had a firm belief in its new products. I own this car. I own this car. Didn't he jump at dawn? Didn't he jump at dawn? Is there? Is there? This is the best method I've found to keep plants healthy. This is the best method I've found to keep plants healthy. Is my stepdaughter a carpenter? Is my stepdaughter a carpenter? Is he assessing at 4 in the morning? Is he assessing at 4 in the morning? Be reliable and responsible to yourself and others. Be reliable and responsible to yourself and others. Wouldn't you have researched after a week? Wouldn't you have researched after a week? I felt refreshed and energetic after the workout. I felt refreshed and energetic after the workout. Truck driver after 4 nights? Truck driver after 4 nights? I will have sex. I will have sex. Suspects. Suspects. Should you be an athlete every day? Should you be an athlete every day? Can't get married at noon? Can't get married at noon? The development of new technology has created new business opportunities. The development of new technology has created new business opportunities. Is our daughter a comedian? Is our daughter a comedian? Politics is a popular way to gain power. Politics is a popular way to gain power. We did not appear daily. We did not appear daily. My son was a ballerina. My son was a ballerina. His grandfather is a professor. His grandfather is a professor. Could it be an alchemist at 5 o'clock the previous evening? Could it be an alchemist at 5 o'clock the previous evening? They were destroyed at night. They were destroyed at night. Were we created last year? Were we created last year? I want to go swimming. I want to go swimming. Was my brother-in-law a researcher? Was my brother-in-law a researcher? I don't want to lose my machine for many things. I don't want to lose my machine for many things. May not push. May not push. Couldn't he have been a professor before? Couldn't he have been a professor before? Will you go forward? Will you go forward? Can push. Can push. I will raise rabbits. I will raise rabbits. Can you give me more information? Can you give me more information? Assumed 3 years ago? Assumed 3 years ago? We will clean up in 5 years. We will clean up in 5 years. I'm staying at the hotel. I'm staying at the hotel. Then I assume. Then I assume. They shouldn't be sheriffs occasionally. They shouldn't be sheriffs occasionally. Your granddaughter is the photographer. Your granddaughter is the photographer. Then at 4 a.m. you will clean up. Then at 4 a.m. you will clean up. We celebrate our anniversary every year. We celebrate our anniversary every year. I must not forget to call my grandmother on her birthday. I must not forget to call my grandmother on her birthday. Can we check it annually? Can we check it annually? Didn't we take care of every week? Didn't we take care of every week? He reads history every day. He reads history every day. Politics is a popular way to gain power. Politics is a popular way to gain power. Was your aunt a cleaner? Was your aunt a cleaner? Would he sing? Would he sing? Can you exclude soon? Can you exclude soon? His mother was a ballerina. His mother was a ballerina. Didn't we apply annually? Didn't we apply annually? I will take a break from studying English. I will take a break from studying English. Rarely worried. Rarely worried. Do we have to feed after one night? Do we have to feed after one night? Can I be vice president soon? Can I be vice president soon? He was accepted into his dream university. He was accepted into his dream university. May not work. May not work. Their parents are more ironic. Their parents are more ironic. Shall we tell you in 3 weeks? Shall we tell you in 3 weeks? Are we known at night? Are we known at night? Did they paint it 1 week ago? Did they paint it 1 week ago? Can it support normally? Can it support normally? Do they fix it after a week? Do they fix it after a week? Can't you be a physicist in 2 days? Can't you be a physicist in 2 days? If the weather is not wet, I will go outside. If the weather is not wet, I will go outside. Oranges are weird. Oranges are weird. Wouldn't it connect? Wouldn't it connect? He could not always come back. He could not always come back. The situation is beyond the reach of human power. The situation is beyond the reach of human power. His daughter was a grocer. His daughter was a grocer. They'll be playing video games all night tonight. They'll be playing video games all night tonight. We were butchers right away. We were butchers right away. Is our brother a financier? Is our brother a financier? Will he be angling bi-weekly? Will he be angling bi-weekly? Analyzed immediately. Analyzed immediately. I have many values. I have many values. He goes to the library every week. He goes to the library every week. Can arrest may occur frequently. May occur frequently. It's a good idea to review your vocabulary regularly. It's a good idea to review your vocabulary regularly. Is our uncle the president? Is our uncle the president? Need to wait now? Need to wait now? Will they not be besieging? Will they not be besieging? The current state of the economy is uncertain. The current state of the economy is uncertain. I will have to exhaust all my options before making a decision. I will have to exhaust all my options before making a decision. I'm not a Czech. I'm not a Czech. Wasn't he listening? Wasn't he listening? Sometimes he could decide. Sometimes he could decide. He didn't answer right away. He didn't answer right away. He ate half the sandwich. He ate half the sandwich. I have to buy a new house. I have to buy a new house. According to the book, the story takes place in the future. According to the book, the story takes place in the future. They come from different countries but have a common language. They come from different countries but have a common language. Must play. Must play. I'll bake at dawn. I'll bake at dawn. I will study for my exam. I will study for my exam. Stepmother nutritionist. Stepmother nutritionist. Your parents were notaries. Your parents were notaries. I have to sell my house. I have to sell my house. If the sun is shining, I will go out. If the sun is shining, I will go out. Aren't they shop assistants at dusk? Aren't they shop assistants at dusk? Her stepdaughters were librarians. Her stepdaughters were librarians. This is the right thing to do. This is the right thing to do. Is his stepbrother a baker? Is his stepbrother a baker? I continue every month. I continue every month. Didn't they extend it now? Didn't they extend it now? My grandchildren weather presenter. My grandchildren weather presenter. Can't it tempt at dawn? Can't it tempt at dawn? He is ready. He is ready. Should we change every day? Should we change every day? Wouldn't he care? Wouldn't he care? Do I have to teach in a minute? Do I have to teach in a minute? My wife is a glazier. My wife is a glazier. Are her stepbrothers free? Are her stepbrothers free? Can we set up a meeting to discuss this further? Can we set up a meeting to discuss this further? Were we pharmacists a month ago? Were we pharmacists a month ago? I want to write a book about a woman who wonders about the world. I want to write a book about a woman who wonders about the world. Still, there are some areas that need improvement. Still, there are some areas that need improvement. When the game is over, they will be playing for 4 hours. When the game is over, they will be playing for 4 hours. He has to referee after 2 days. He has to referee after 2 days. I have a headache. I have a headache. I don't think media coverage is necessarily the most accurate depiction of reality. I don't think media coverage is necessarily the most accurate depiction of reality. He watches the stars at night. He watches the stars at night. If the weather is not hot, I will go outside. If the weather is not hot, I will go outside. Don't you need to measure? Don't you need to measure? Your nephew is a lawyer. Your nephew is a lawyer. Are their cousins bus drivers? Are their cousins bus drivers? Can't I be a filmmaker at sunset? Can't I be a filmmaker at sunset? We wouldn't be writing columns at noon. We wouldn't be writing columns at noon. Will they not connect? Will they not connect? In 3 seconds you should be the nanny. In 3 seconds you should be the nanny. Can grow. Can grow. They get fit 5 hours ago. They get fit 5 hours ago. You applied earlier at 2 a.m. You applied earlier at 2 a.m. His half-brother was a stylist. His half-brother was a stylist. We may not leave 10 years. We may not leave 10 years. He wasn't a speaker back then. He wasn't a speaker back then. That plan. That plan. We went to eat ice cream after the beach. We went to eat ice cream after the beach. I can tell in a week. I can tell in a week. My cousins were ambassadors. My cousins were ambassadors. Wasn't he an alchemist 5 years ago? Wasn't he an alchemist 5 years ago? I accuse you of cheating. I accuse you of cheating. Couldn't we have danced 4 nights before? Couldn't we have danced 4 nights before? I can't believe you said such a thing. I can't believe you said such a thing. His grandfather is a juggler. His grandfather is a juggler. Shame is an emotion. Shame is an emotion. Could he believe a minute ago? Could he believe a minute ago? Should you buy the assistant soon? Should you buy the assistant soon? Is my brother-in-law a therapist? Is my brother-in-law a therapist? Sometimes they don't last. Sometimes they don't last. Should he be examined every day? Should he be examined every day? They don't have it right away. They don't have it right away. You must add earlier. You must add earlier. Can you provide the necessary support? Can you provide the necessary support?